this is July. Raythe hasn't made the schedule yet, or if she has, she hasn't shared it with me, but I got the important dates. Let's talk about what's happening in just a few days, which is the Everdark podcast premiere and live stream, and the free books this month. But before that, I do want to let you know that Raythe is working on an awesome new serial story. She's been talking it over with us during meetings for at least the past 4 months, and is now in the art phase. I'm totally excited to see what Raythe does because this is a really different kind of story. I think that if you miss Dragon's Reign, you're going to really like this. It is fantasy, but different fantasy. The way Dragon's Reign is fantasy, but different. Anyway, last Saturday we had our first YouTube premiere, which was the last episode of Dragon's Reign, episode 140. There were quite a few people on it. I think I counted around 200 on the premiere, which was really fun to see. And after that, Raythe went live, and her laptop couldn't handle the number of people on the stream. I think the peak was concurrently around 250, which is pretty modest for streamers, but still, it crashed a few times. But it went pretty well, despite the technical issues, and we got to announce that Everdark was the next podcast. We got to play the trailer video, which looks amazing and is already uploaded to YouTube, and the voice cast intros, because this is a fully voice-acted podcast now, and announce our Everdark related merch. We are doing the same thing on Saturday, which is to premiere the first episode of Everdark at 2 p.m. Central and go live right after. That'll be around 2:45 or whenever it ends. Hopefully it won't crash this time. Raythe is going to use her other laptop, which is more powerful. I think what happened was that Restream.io is an aggregate streamer, so she can go live on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. But when the chat started coming in around the time we got to the 200 viewer mark, it just couldn't keep up because it was running inside of Chrome. And her laptop is real lightweight. So she has another one. She got set up on that this week, and we're just going to see what happens. I'm not sure when the Empire of Stars live reading will be, but it's probably going to be on July 16th at 2 p.m. Central. So that's 2 weeks after Saturday's live stream. So next we got the free books. We're doing Vampires Club this month, and the dates are as follows. Vampires Club 1, July 7th through 11th. Vampires Club 5, July 21st to the 25th. All the books are also in Kindle Unlimited, so you can borrow them with a KU subscription. Books and audiobooks. Now you probably understand why Cinders and Ashes 5's audiobook hasn't come out yet, because Edward and Hannah are also doing the recordings for Everdark. And those took precedence because we wanted to be ready. With 5 actors and a ton of editing, just the production pipeline can't be on the fly anymore. Everyone at Her Grace Reed's studio is a working actor also. They are in things like Hallmark movies, Lifetime, TV shows, and do voices for animations that are, much more big and important than what we do. So we have to schedule their time well ahead of time. Cinders and Ashes 6 is being written and posted on the site chapter by chapter. Raythe isn't sure if she's going to have to move the August release date to September because it's the last book. She's writing on schedule, but she may want to make it a little longer. Now let's talk about our new and improved Everdark merch, because people have been asking for this, and we finally were able to deliver in an organized fashion. We're doing a lot of new stuff this time around, such as real hardcover books. First of all, if you bought one of our 25 signed hardcover books, thank you for participating in our shipping experiment. Raythe should be contacting you about what you want her to write in the book if she hasn't already. If you're one of the people who was forced to choose priority international shipping because that was the only choice, and paid potentially more than the cost of the book itself, that was a mistake. You'll be able to get a much better rate with plain old international shipping, which we didn't realize we didn't enable. We'll be contacting you to work that out. Thank you so much for your patience. This is, the first time for us, so there's going to be issues. If you did miss out on the first 25 books and wanted one, don't worry. We're doing it again. We just kept it to 25 because it seemed like a number we could handle if everything went wrong. We're new to this. We only want to take on what we can actually fix. Digital products. For the first time ever, we were able to get organized because we started production in December. Raythe has been able to edit the story enough to feel good about putting the series out in ebooks. So now we have an ebook of the first 15 chapters available. It's through our shop for now. I don't know what her plans are to put it on Amazon. Everdark is kind of like our flagship product, and we did this basically for people who already know about it. For the fans. We also have an audiobook of the first 15 recorded episodes. These are straight up MP3s. No background music, no intros, no breaks, no outros, just the chapters. Also available through the shop. And it seems to be going well since I haven't heard from anybody needing tech support on the MP3s. As for the price, we're going with what Audible does. So it's $25 for the general public, but our members get a coupon so that they can buy the downloadable versions for $10. This is the same thing that the members get on the private podcast feed. The $10 is basically to pay for tech support when something does inevitably happen. But thank you so much for all of the members who have bought the audiobook. There's a lot of people. Your support means so much, especially when you hear about what's happened to us this week in Google Prude land. The private podcast has changed. We are only putting the chapters on it, by the way, because the page on the membership site is not formatted that well. We want to keep it as clean as possible and make it as less confusing as possible. So for the newsletters, updates, non-chapter content, basically, check the public podcast on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, etc. So while I'm talking about podcast support and issues, I just want to give you an update on what has been going on with YouTube shenanigans. First of all, you probably already know that we got a content strike for the first chapter of Ghost Neo Tokyo. YouTube has noticed that we publish The Gay. And in fact, this isn't just us. I've heard of a lot of channels getting struck simply for discussing LGBT stuff, like commentary channels and reaction channels. For us, well, it was a semi-legit strike because there is actual sex in the chapter. However, I'm sure you know that these policies are unevenly and unfairly applied. Well, the latest that happened a couple days ago is that our Dragon's Reign ad, the one that's been running for over a year, 8 dragon shifters rule the world, with the only romantic graphics being like 2 fully clothed, handsome fictional characters almost kissing. That got struck for shocking content. This isn't the first time we've run afoul of Google. They've always been anti-gay and have bonged our ads just for having the word gay in them. We have tested this. Shocking content is a new one though, usually reserved for violence or hate speech and that kind of thing, not Harlequin-style fantasy romance. As always, the TOS for what's shocking is very open, left up to the individual who reviews the ad, who may or may not be from a nationality where content is not as open. As I said before, we are not against age restrictions or content guidelines, and neither is Raythe. We wouldn't expect Disney to want to turn Labyrinth into a children's show. It's not for kids. It's straight up legit horror. And we would be okay with Google if they wanted to go full Disney for their content, like only hand-holding. But of course, they won't put hard guidelines in place because they make tons of money off of the fringe content, like, hate channels and porn. The conclusion is we realized that we'd gotten sloppy and complacent. I'm sure you know that the general direction America is going in is not very friendly to us, and that Google may talk a good game and put rainbows on their homepage or whatever, but they do bow down to their conservative masters just like every other large corporation in America. We've had to edit the 5 central chapters from Dragon's Reign. Those sections are chopped out now, and I've made a note of it in the videos themselves. Unfortunately, Everdark is a way more sexy story than Dragon's Reign, and there will be a lot more editing going on. We're going to post the same version of Everdark on the public podcast and YouTube because they all have the same TOS. I mean, we are just not willing to play dice with this. So much has happened this year. We've already been shut out from Facebook advertising for the most part because they took away any LGBT targeting earlier this year. Google is apparently currently cracking down on any gay-related content, and we're not going to make the cut. We have no clout. As long as one homophobe reports us for content, Google's going to keep shutting down our ability to advertise and maybe even our videos unless we are unimpeachable with our sexy stuff. A company that can't advertise is a company that can't stay in business. I mean, let's be real. If we can't get the word out about what we do, no one's going to give us money because they don't know what we sell. So how can you help? Number one is subscribe to our YouTube channel and engage with us. Like or comment or even click on an ad for paper towels if you want to. I'm sure that's what's showing on the channel anyway. Our subscriber number is actually more than a vanity thing. Like, it makes us feel great to see that number go up, but we get more organic recommendations with higher subscriber numbers and engagement rates because it's the algorithm. In a big company like Google, the right tentacle doesn't talk to the left tentacle. So the ad department might not let us run our tame ads because someone thinks they're shocking in that department, but people in the algorithm department don't care. The algorithm will see that the content's doing well organically and start recommending it more, and that more people will find the content when that happens. Number two, I really hate to say this, but don't use the YouTube join button anymore. We were so excited. We turned it on. We're like, oh yeah, we're going to make it easy for people to support the podcast. Well, F that. Don't give them money. Get a Raythe membership instead. Gets you way more content, and we can't post the sex chapters on YouTube anymore anyway, even to our private members. They still know because of their text-to-speech capabilities. They can scan that in like a nanosecond and see trigger words. The content will probably get automatically flagged. We're not making this up. We have heard that this happens to other YouTubers. So screw that. Don't support Google. Support us directly instead. We have sales. So if you can't afford $9.95 a month or whatever, just get on our mailing list and wait for the sale. And number three, please don't give us crap because you're disappointed. We're really disappointed too. You may want to complain that we're nickel and diming you because we're paywalling the explicit content, but we have to do it. We don't have any other choice. I know that if you're listening to it, there's a 99.999% chance that you would never say anything so gauche. But over the last couple of weeks, we've gotten emails from people who just don't understand what we're up against, what we have to lose, which is our ability to upload the story for anybody at all. And we're not going to upload these sexy chapters to some other third-party platform. I can't manage that. The YouTube channel is all me. The podcast uploading is all me. We are still just 3 people, and we have to make the best possible use of our time. Sorry if I'm a bit salty, but we've gotten some real choice emails and comments from people over the last few weeks, and we have 0 Fs to give. As I'm sure you heard when Raythe was doing her Last Empire live stream. This podcast launch, we've just been focused on it. We want everybody to have the best possible experience, and if we're a little bit less nice, well, that's why. About the Discord, some people have been having trouble getting into it because it's apparently age-gated now. I don't know what's going on. Maybe the mods had some issues. We really don't have anything to do with the Discord channel. It's completely fan-run, so it's not like the Raythe official Discord channel. I don't even think I'm a moderator on it, so we can't offer any support if you're having trouble. If the channel owners want to give us some guidelines about what's going on, that would be great. So contact us privately, or I will reach out on Discord since I'm still on the channel. But like Raythe couldn't get on the new computer yesterday and it was age gated. She was like, what's going on? So anyway, a lot of things are happening. A lot of things are changing. Thanks for your patience. We really hope you enjoy the premiere of Everdark, coming up in just a few days.